yahuhu kshetram kshetrajña eva ca sarvagamanam achara pratamam parikalpate achara prabhavo dharmo dharmasya prabhurachyutaha Rishaya pitaro deva mahabhutani dhatavaha Jangama jangamam bhedam jagannarayanodbhavam Yogo jnanam tata sankyam vidya shilpadi karmacha Veda shastrani vijnanam etat sarvam janardanat Eko Vishnu Mahadbhutam Pritadbhutanyanekashaha Trilokan Vyapya Bhutatma Bhumte Vishvabhugavyayaha Imam Stavam Bhagavato Vishnor Vyasena Kirtitam Patedyayichet Purusha Shreya Praptum Sukhani cha Vishveshvaramajam Devam Jagata Prabhavapyayam Bhajanti ye Pushkaraksham Nate Yanti Parabhavam Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I miss it when we don't chant it for a couple of days. Huh? When did we chant it? Saturday? Last time? Or no, because we got interrupted. We didn't chant it because, huh? Friday, because Saturday we got, well, the power went out before we got to chant. So, miss it when you don't chant very close. You're okay?
Be in the moment of
What kind of forces you to concentrate on Krishna's holy name? Peter, before you get all comfy, you help me out here. I don't know, still kind of smoky in here. What do you think? Or are we getting smoke in the door now? Huh? Yeah. Well, let's leave it the way it is for now. Any questions from our studio audience or from the folks at home?
I have a question.
Okay.
From the verses here, we see the Sanskrit and then the transliteration.
You mean the Devanagari?
The Sanskrit is Devanagari.
The Devanagari script.
Script, yes.
Yeah, because they're both Sanskrit. They're just two different
that's true.
scripts.
Okay, so we see the Devanagari script.
Yeah.
Deva is long A?
No.
Devanagari, okay.
Long I.
Devanagari.
Devanagari.
We see the Devanagari script, and then we see the transliteration. But the transliteration is 4 lines, and the Devanagari is 2 lines.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It makes it easier to read for Westerners.
But it's worse.
Worse?
In terms of learning.
Well, if you really want to learn first-class Sanskrit, you'll read the Devanagari. Learn to read Devanagari, and everything is revealed. You know, sometimes we look at the transliteration, and the rhythm seems really strange. You know, why do they do it exactly like that? Well, you look at the Devanagari, it'll tell you why they do it. Because every single character in Devanagari gets some time in the rhythm. And every break between the Devanagari, there's a tiny silence. And that also gets a little bit of time. And you'll see that they go through and they give every single character its prescribed amount of time.
So it's even more scientific.
It's even more, yeah. I mean, when I say that long syllables have 2 padas and short syllables have 1 pada, that's just an approximation, okay, to make it easy to start to learn the rhythm. The Sanskrit rhythm, the matra, is actually very, very sophisticated. And very few people, actually in Kali Yuga, it's stated that nobody can pronounce Sanskrit properly. But at least we can come close, we can make an approximation.
But that's why, for example, when there's the Visarga symbol, it's easier to read when you're reading Sanskrit.
Yes.
In Western, we have to skip lines.
Yes, right. To see the ksha on the next line and stuff like
exactly.
that. Yeah, it's very tricky. But in the Devanagari, it's right there, and you can see it. Oh, Visarga followed by ksha. Okay. You know.
I guess it's easier, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit easier. No questions? No questions? I can't believe this. You're all completely, fully enlightened. No questions. Well, I'll start asking questions. How's that?
The question is about the Nectar of Instruction, verse 2, that we were discussing earlier. And all these things, over-endeavoring, like that, they're symptoms of not keeping it real, in a sense, right?
Yeah, pretentiousness.
Yeah. And sometimes we aren't even consciously aware of the fact that we're being pretentious. But the symptom is when we lose our taste for devotional service, then we know that we're not keeping it real, right?
I don't know how it's possible not to be consciously aware of being pretentious, because it takes such an effort.
Yeah, I think we tend to get used to that effort.
That might be so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in materialistic life, everybody's pretentious all the time. Nobody's being honest. Nobody's being straightforward. Everyone's putting on a false personality and going out and living a lie. It's a fact. So then when we come to devotional service, we have to dig down into ourselves and find the truth, find out who we really are. And it's a completely different thing. Some people approach devotional service like, okay, now I can just put on my devotee costume. Yeah, and go out and make believe to be a devotee. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama. See, I'm in bliss. No, doesn't fly. Rolls down to the end of the runway and crashes. Never gets off the ground. That approach cannot result in actual devotional service. It's just another trip, another false personality trip. Real devotional service comes from so deep inside, deeper than most people allow themselves to go in themselves. Which is why I think it was very helpful for me to get into depth psychotherapy for a couple of years and find out that, there are depths of feeling in there that are normally covered over because we don't want to deal with the pain that's there. We've all been cheated so many times in this material world, especially around love and affection, and the truth. I mean, I don't know anybody, especially in the West, that survives becoming an adolescent, emotionally survives becoming an adolescent and realizing how much they have been lied to as a child. We tell children so many lies about the way the world is, about the way life is, about the way they are. We tell them about Santa Claus. And we believe in Santa Claus with all our hearts. And then at some point, it becomes obvious that, well, actually, Daddy is Santa Claus, or, whatever. And, so there's nothing to believe in. There's nothing to love. No one who is perfect, in modern life. And so people become hardened. Their hearts become dull. Their consciousness becomes dull and flat. It doesn't have a deep dimension to it. So devotional service addresses all of these issues. But we have to allow it to. We have to be open to inquiring into all these things and actually changing our consciousness. If we resist it, Krishna's not going to force himself on us. He's going to allow us to remain pretentious and phony and shallow, and we won't attain pure devotional service. We won't attain love of Godhead. Yeah. So really what Rupa Goswami here is saying is like, get real. Don't do more than you can do, but don't do less than you can do either. You know? Be sincere, be straightforward. Don't push yourself, don't be pretentious. Yeah? Question?
Just some comments.
No? Okay. I guess they don't like us anymore. That's okay, we have a lion.
Oh, question.
Hey, question! Saved by the bell.